I guess welcome back to The Incredibles 2.
Okay.
Electric Boogaloo.
Hey. There's just a couple of extra things we wanted to talk about in regards to Incredibles 2 Electric Boogaloo. One of the things we touched upon last episode was the fact that they nerfed Bob's character and that they made him more of an asshole. The first film was really nice, right? Because he goes through a character arc, as does every character.
Yeah.
Which is how you write a good character.
Yeah.
Is you make them go through a point where they started off in kind of a bad situation. What the fuck? Where are you going? What me? But throughout the film, they learn their mistakes and they become a better person. By the end, everything feels nice and good because, oh god, come on. Everything feels nice and good because they've learned and they are. Jesus Christ, he's so slow now. Shouldn't have hit him. Because they've gone through the whole film. They've gone through what is known as a character arc. Come on. No, I'm right here, dude.
Just push him the way you want him to go.
Great. There we go. And just shoot at his feet, make him come. Sorry, we were talking about this earlier as well. I got very distracted playing these games, so they require me to concentrate. So they do the same thing. So what they do is in Incredibles 2, they have to have some kind of conflict, right? So they make one up. So they get rid of the thing. Well, they don't get rid of it, but they make it just seem like that they retroactively kind of ruin what they did in the first film, right?
Mm.
So Bob... Oh, no! Yeah, that was my bad. I have to go get this mission again. Oops. So they make it so like he's jealous of his wife, right? For going out and being, and it's just like he's not horrible necessarily, but he's just kind of like, you know what I mean? He's jealous of Helen going out and doing superhero stuff, even though it was sort of the opposite dynamic in the first film, and it's just like, what have you guys actually learned? He learned about like he should stay with his family and stuff like that, and she learned, that superhero stuff is not as bad as she thinks it is necessarily. And they both kind of explore that in the second film, but it just feels like they've kind of taken a step back in order to provide the conflict that they want, right? Anyway, that I was going to say brings me into a film that I saw, which was Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Yeah. And
they do the exact same thing, except a bit worse, where Ralph has, again, throughout the film, he doesn't, for the first film, he doesn't want to be known as a villain, as a bad guy. He wants to be known as a nice guy. He wants people to know the real him. Kind of, actually, honestly, a bit similar to the story of Shrek. And that's all well and good, and at the end he makes a friend, and that's all really, really nice. But in this next film, they make it that he's actually also incredibly insecure and can't spend too long away from Penelope. And he's still a very flawed character, but in a different way. He's actually incredibly flawed in the second film, and it's just kind of like, but we learned so much from the first film. Like, why can't you just leave him alone? And I don't want to spoil too much about the second film.
I can't remember a lot about the first one. I just remember that he just kind of goes into video game land. That's what he does.
Well, I'll tell you what. First off, we need to reveal our boy Flesh Stick. There he is.
When you're ready to start the party, please smack Mr. Flesh Stick in his bitch face.
You get. Oops.
Oh, I forgot to mention that I'm inviting Flesh Stick's friends too. Make sure they don't get too rowdy and break the generator.
Yeah, so basically I gotta keep all these bad guys from killing my shit. So now I just gotta focus on killing enemies, so it's fine. If this is a film, Wreck-It Ralph 2 is definitely a film where, like, if you enjoy the references and that's a video game I recognize, and particularly because they go into the internet. If you
was
enjoy
the
that
Disney
kind of
princesses bit?
There was the Disney princesses. Of which, by the way, turned out exactly like I predicted it would.
It's such a minor, unnecessary part of the
It's
movie.
yes. Well, I predicted this right from the get go because they show them in the trailer because they want people to come see the film.
Yeah.
But I predicted like they're not actually going to have an actual impact on the film at all. If anything, they're going to appear in the last scene and they're going to just help out a little bit to save the day.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what happens. That's kind of a spoiler, but also not really because I predicted it months ago.
Yeah.
Oh god. I hate guns that
So
you have to
like,
reload.
it's still a little bit of a spoiler if your prediction is confirmed.
But yeah, but it's so obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know. The minor Wreck-It Ralph 2 spoilers. They like, but they don't. When I say they kind of save the day, they don't really. Like they're not the main thing that does it. It's
No.
it's other characters.
Just
It's the main characters
a
that
distraction
do the
for
thing.
the bad guys. Something like
Yeah, basically.
that.
Well, no, that's not what happens. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They save the day in a very minor way. You know, they didn't need to be there. It could have been done another way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just fan service. The film is basically just a big fan service fest. It's not an awful film. It actually has a very interesting message that I've never seen before in a film before, which is cool. Some people don't like it, which I get. It does sort of retroactively ruin the first movie's ending.
What message?
Well, I can't say because it's the end of the film.
Spoiler.
I mean, I could tell you and have Stephanie edit it out if you want.
Mm.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, right.
The message is that anyway, so that's spoiler talk for Wreck-It Ralph 2 done. Sorry about that, folks.
So it sounds like they kind of ruined Ralph a little bit.
Yep.
So they kind of took what he'd learned in the first one, and they kind of brought it back and added a whole bunch of other stuff
Yep.
that made him an even more pitiful character.
They definitely did. And it really sucks.
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, fuck off. God damn
Because I
it.
forgot he was supposed to be a bad guy.
That was the whole point of the first film.
Yeah. I saw it once at someone's house.
It's so stupid. Sorry. I'm mad at this.
Mm.
Game is not giving me ammo. I
Mm.
should just buy it down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an alright film. Definitely not as good as the first film, and it kind of gave off an aura of I kind of wish the film didn't exist because you know I hate films that retroactively ruin the first one because you know the first ones it always comes across so clear that they had no intention to make a sequel when they made the first one, and so as a result, the only way that they can create a conflict in the sequel is to ruin what they made. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that's why you shouldn't make sequels to films that didn't intend to have a sequel. Anyway. Except for one film, which is Star Wars, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because it worked out incredibly well. There we go.
I'm afraid Mr. Flushstick must fit us in.
I remember you, kid! You should be dead!
What an interesting point, Monsieur Flushstick. Mr. Sparks, what do you think?
No! I'm sorry I sold out your family! I'm sorry!
Is he dead?
Yeah, he disintegrated.
Best tea party ever.
Hell yeah. And now she's going to go off and do her own thing. But she just gave me one of the best weapons that I can possibly get right now, which is... I'm going to actually place of this. Where is it? The teapot. Corrosive teapot. So she gave me the teapot, which is this gun here. It has crazy fucking corrosive damage, which is great for the next thing I'm about to do.
Look, a robot. Or a thing with armor.
Yes.
Or destroy building.
Robots and armor, because robots have armor.
Yeah.
What was I saying about Wreck-It Ralph 2? I don't know. Yeah, kind of wish it didn't exist. There are lots of fun moments that I like. It's a pretty funny film, you know. It's cram-packed full of references and shit. And if you like that stuff, which I do, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I like a good reference, and it's cram-packed full of them, so that's fun. Funny jokes and things like that. Some references are a bit cringy. There are 2 Fortnite references, which the only reason I don't like those is, other than the fact that I'm not a big fan of Fortnite, is that they're not going to date very well.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the whole problem. I think the problem with the whole film, the film as a whole, is it's definitely not going to date very well because it's all about modern culture.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Just poke their bellies when you want me to set the explosives off. I gotta do it remotely.
Oh right, I got to arm them. Boop.
Oh,
Here comes the
snap,
train.
son. I hear the train coming. 9, 10, 9. I got bored.
What?
She was counting down from 10, and she got bored.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how you hijack a train.
Well, that's one way to hijack a train. The Valky's still up on that ice shelf. Gotta climb that wreckage to get there.
Ah, that's what we think's on the train. The Valkyrie. Got it.
Oh, you'll go sing. What? That's a rap song I wrote.
Anyway. But yeah, that's basically my opinions on Wreck-It Ralph 2. I don't know if I had anything else to say. Did I have a point?
Yeah, you
Just
well-
don't make. Try not to make sequels if they don't have a sequel intended, and if the first film ended on such a happy note, man. If there actually is a way to explore the characters further, then maybe. Like Star Wars really had like a lot of room for growth,
Yeah.
but I don't know. There aren't that many great instances of that, to be honest.
Mm.
Oh god damn it! There's a reason that many people think that sequels are bad. But you know.
Good time went off.
Did it? Oh fuck. Well, next time we'll be doing this area. Bye bye.